the concept of free speech has become a stale relic of the 60s. Milo Yiannopoulos, Heather McDonald, Charles Murray, David Horowitz all found themselves barred from speaking purely due to their opinions. The most recent person silenced in this manner is Ann Coulter, who was told her speech at UC Berkeley could not go forward because of safety concerns. Here's what she said on this show last night.
By the way, I am giving the speech. I don't know. What are they going to do, arrest me? They can put me in the Birmingham jail. This is a taxpayer-funded institution. Not to mention, lots of kids getting federal money to be there. You know, Attorney General Jeff Sessions should be looking at this.
Well, after an outcry, officials at Berkeley reversed course, offering to let Coulter speak in early May.
Ms. Coulter's announcement that she intends to come to this campus on April 27th without regard for the fact that we do not have a protectable venue available on that date is of grave concern. Last night, I asked my staff to look beyond the usual venues we use for large public gatherings. Fortunately, that expanded search identified an appropriate, protectable venue that is available on the afternoon of May 2nd.
Exercising freedom of speech is of grave concerns, as a guy from the college known for the free speech movement who teaches him to talk this way. Mark Steyn might know. He knows what it's like to be targeted for his opinions. Angry Canadians once stopped him from speaking in his own country. Mark Steyn joins us tonight. Mark, you must recognize this.
Yeah, these guys, I certainly recognize that kind of creepy, weaselly, evasive speech. A Canadian blogger called Laura Rosen-Cohen says, and she sums it up very well, security is the new shut up, by which she means that, oh yes, of course we believe in freedom of speech, but we have security concerns, so they come up with all this flim-flam. You'll have to change the date, you'll have to change the venue, we'll have to move you to this venue. We've had a conversation with the security team and the municipal police, and they say we're going to need 600 riot police there to enable you to give a speech. And the point of all this is that eventually the guys give up and abandon trying to invite conservative speakers, because by the time you factor in all the security costs, you could stage Hello Dolly meets Godzilla on ice for the same cost as bringing Charles Murray in to give a 20-minute speech to a few students. And Berkeley should be ashamed of this. If it's not safe on April 27th for Ann Coulter to be there, they should fix that. But she's coming on April 27th, and she should be able to speak there without those guys losing control of the environment.
Well, among the many ironies in this, the left invented the term victim shaming, or blaming the victim, and that's exactly what's going on here. People show up to abridge or eliminate your freedom of speech, and then you're blamed for the violence they threaten. How does that work?
That's right. Yeah, I mean, the New York Times gave a particularly weaselly account today. They say, with Berkeley's reputation as one of the country's most liberal universities, the campus and surrounding areas have become a target for small, militant and shadowy right-wing groups. In other words, if you read the New York Times, you would think that this is right-wing violence targeting a liberal campus. It's the exact opposite. It was left-wing thugs at Middlebury who put a liberal professor in the hospital and made her have to go back a couple of days later with a concussion. These groups claim to be anti-fascist, but you don't actually need actual fascists if the so-called anti-fascist groups are putting liberal female professors in the hospital. The administrators of American universities are some of the most disgraceful people in the Western world at the moment. They are actually selling out one of the critical elements of the Western inheritance, which is freedom of speech. And they are turning basically university campuses into the equivalent of English hooligan football stadiums of the 1970s. Shame on them.
Well, and I have to say, if you say you're anti-fascist, it's a red flag. Maybe it suggests you are one. So what exactly is the right response to this? You've had it happen to you. You've been prevented from speaking in public by people like this. How do you respond? What do you do next?
Well, I think you do what Ann Coulter is doing and say you are going to be there. This is a public university. We've just had a fascinating discussion with a lady who thinks it's hateful to put up a wall to prevent illegal immigrants entering the country, but apparently at publicly funded institutions, half the American people are not welcome to come and express their opinions there. And you have to take a stand against that. There's no point having a First Amendment. There's no point fighting legal battles. There has to be a broader culture of free speech, and every time the left says, no, we'd rather punch your lights out, it's the duty of the university administrators to slap them down. By the way, it's also the duty of squishes like the pathetic people who run the Berkeley Police Department, who kind of stand idly by and pose as neutral between the thugs and the group holding the event. The Berkeley Police Department also needs to be held to account on this.
And it's the leadership. I bet if you talk to the average cop in Berkeley, he'd be as frustrated as you are. Mark Steyn, thanks a lot for coming on.
But you're right, Tucker.
Yeah,
the police chiefs are politically correct squishes in too many of these cases.
Exactly right. It must drive the cops crazy. You know it does. Mark, thank you.